Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we are taking you straight to Denmark.
But not for the usual reason.
No, not for Lego or pastries, but for something. Well, something far more unexpected. World-class, pioneering, single malt whiskey.
It's a fantastic story.
It really is. Now, if you're like most people, when you think about the cutting edge of global whiskey, Denmark probably isn't the first country that springs to mind.
Not at all. You think Scotland, Japan, maybe the U.S.?
Exactly. But we've sourced some remarkable material originally from Whisky.dk, which is Denmark's largest whiskey retailer, by the way.
Right. They have this massive 500 square meter showroom near Kolding. They know their stuff.
And their material tells a very different story about a very small distillery. We are diving deep into Sall Whisky.
An operation in East Jutland that has, really rapidly emerged as one of Denmark's most visionary producers.
They've built their entire identity around two ideas that seem almost contradictory.
Oh, completely. On the one hand, you have this extreme localism, what they call a single farm philosophy.
And on the other, you have radical international innovation when it comes to aging.
And that is precisely our mission for you today. We want to unpack how this small grassroots project managed to transform a commitment to local dirt, the Danish terroir, into a platform for global experimentation.
It really feels like a blueprint, doesn't it?
It is. It's a blueprint for how specificity and quality control, when you take them to the absolute extreme, can create influence far beyond a company's size.
It's a remarkable journey. And I think to appreciate where they are now, we have to start at the absolute beginning.
Which is pretty unusual.
It is the most unconventional origin story I think I've ever encountered in the spirits world. The idea for Sall Whisky began only about 6 years ago.
And not in some lavish building or a business incubator.
No, it was in a construction shed, a skirvon, as they call it, set up during an archaeological excavation, right there in the Jutland soil.
Just think about that visual for a moment. Instead of a business plan drafted in some modern office, the concept was literally born while digging up history.
It's incredible. And it was founded by 7 young local enthusiasts.
Whom the sources affectionately call Ildsjæle, which means fire souls.
Love that.
Yeah, it's perfect. People just driven by pure passion to create something entirely new that represented their local identity.
So that transition, from an archaeological dig site to a serious spirits producer, that feels like it's fueled entirely by community trust, isn't it?
It has to be. The audacity of that idea, it needed immediate, tangible support to move past the shed stage.
Right.
The entire project was built from scratch, but not by venture capital. It was realized through an incredibly successful crowdfunding campaign.
So the locals really put their money where their mouth was.
They absolutely did. This highlights that the local community in Sall, which is near Hamel, wasn't just, conceptually supportive. They invested real economic and practical resources.
So that commitment to local roots is the bedrock.
It's the financial, the emotional, and the physical bedrock of the entire distillery.
That local buy-in provided the foundation, but the quality of the spirit itself.
Yeah.
Well, that's built around a central, non-negotiable concept of control. And that brings us to their core identity, the defining philosophy that's putting Sall on the map. Single farm, single malt.
And this is really where they redefine the industry standard. Most drinkers know that single malt requires 100% malted barley distilled at a single location.
Sure, that's the baseline.
But single farm is an almost unheard of commitment to localization. Sall works exclusively with organic barley grown literally on the fields of one of the co-owners, Lars.
So it's right there, in the immediate surroundings of the distillery.
Exactly.
Control from seed to spirit. That just removes a dozen variables that most major global distilleries simply accept as part of the process.
It does.
But for you, the listener, who's trying to understand the flavor, why does knowing the exact field where the grain came from actually matter? Critics might argue that terroir in barley is just marketing hype for a high-priced bottle.
That is an absolutely fair question, and it forces us to apply the concept of terroir, not just to grapes, but to grain.
Okay.
Terroir is the belief that the unique combination of soil chemistry, local climate, and topography, that it all imprints an indelible character onto the raw material.
So Sall is betting that their little corner of Jutland is unique.
They are betting that the specific qualities of the Jutland soil, its mineral profile, its grainage, plus the cool, specific Danish microclimate, all contribute to a distinct flavor profile in their organic barley.
And this isn't just a vague concept for them.
No, it's about maximizing that unique expression. By limiting their sourcing to one farm, they eliminate regional variability. So every batch of their whiskey is a pure, unadulterated expression of that specific piece of Danish farmland.
So they're essentially arguing that the flavor differences between barley grown in Sall versus barley grown, say, 50 miles away, are significant enough to warrant this hyperfocus.
Precisely. And this hyperfocus is only possible because they maintain absolute quality control across the entire process.
And the source materials really stress this part.
They do. They stress that all core processes, not just the distilling, but also the critical steps of malting the barley, the aging, and the bottling, are all done in-house.
Okay, let's elaborate on that malting step for a second. Most distilleries, even craft ones, buy ready malted barley.
Right. It's easier.
So by doing it themselves, what operational challenge are they taking on, and what quality benefit are they getting out of it?
Well, they're taking on enormous complexity and cost. But what they're gaining is total control over flavor consistency.
Explain that.
Malting is the process of tricking the grain into germination to release the starches, which are then converted to fermentable sugars. This stage is absolutely crucial for developing the foundational flavors, the malt profile of the spirit.
The very soul of the whiskey.
You got it. So when they malt in-house, they can tailor the process, the steep time, the temperature, the drying to, perfectly suit the specific organic barley from Lars's fields.
It's another layer of control.
It's about capturing the authentic expression of that Danish grain without any external influence, reinforcing that full traceability promise. Every bottle traces back to a specific field. It elevates local identity from a nice story to a fundamental element of the spirit's character.
Okay, so we've established the local foundation, the shed origin, the community backing, the organic single farm barley, and this meticulous in-house craft.
A really solid base.
But here's where it gets really interesting for me. To take this incredibly strict, local-first approach and marry it with a fiercely international and experimental approach to aging. It's the perfect clash of philosophies.
It is the ultimate synthesis of tradition and boundary pushing. Sall Whisky is known for a powerful yet refined character, which comes from that barley and their distillation methods.
But their reputation is something else.
Their reputation as one of Denmark's most experimenting distilleries comes almost entirely from their cask selection. While they use staples like bourbon barrels, they actively seek out highly experimental wine barrels to finish their spirit.
And the innovation that elevates them onto the global stage involves a specific, historic, and incredibly rare wine cask.
Fondillón.
Fondillón.
Using a Fondillón cask is a statement. It's a statement about innovation and also about rarity. Fondillón is not just any wine.
No.
It's a unique historical dessert wine from Alicante, Spain. It earned the historical moniker, the Wine of Kings. It's naturally sweet, fortified, and matured oxidatively for decades.
But the key factor for a distiller is supply, right?
Absolutely. The key factor is supply. Fondillón is produced in such limited quantities that it is almost impossible to find these barrels available for secondary use globally.
So getting them is a big deal.
Getting them requires unique, high-level negotiation and connections. It marks Sall as a serious player willing to invest in unprecedented scarcity.
So if we look at the bigger picture here, why hasn't a major Scotch or Japanese distillery done this yet? Is it purely a matter of acquisition difficulty?
Largely, yes. The sheer scarcity means that very few distilleries worldwide even consider them, let alone secure a meaningful supply.
And Sall managed it.
And Sall managed it. The source material highlights their pioneering status. They are noted as being among the first distilleries in the world to mature whiskey in this specific, unique cask type.
That's a huge leap.
It's a leap from their construction shed origin to leading global cask experimentation. It shows a high level of confidence in their base spirit, too. I mean, you don't put a pedestrian whiskey into a cask this rare.
And the tangible result of this daring experiment is their latest bottling, which the source material describes in detail.
The Fondillón cask release.
Which also marks their first 5-year bottling.
And the profile really confirms the wisdom of the risk. The deep, rich, raisined wine profile from the Fondillón casks merges seamlessly with the powerful character of that specific Danish malt.
So it creates something new.
It creates a refined, unique flavor, a profile previously unseen in Danish whiskey. It's not just a blending of two liquids, it's the combination of the Danish terroir story with the Spanish royal history.
And for the collectors and, the learners in our audience who track these pioneering releases, what are the specifics of the bottling that signal its importance?
It signals importance through sheer scarcity. This release was incredibly limited. We're talking a production of just 340 bottles.
Wow, that's it?
That's it. That small number, combined with the groundbreaking cask type and a robust bottling proof of 55.4% ABV, makes this an immediate collector's item.
The business model becomes clear.
The financial model is crystal clear. Hyperlocal, high-quality, fully traceable grain justifies a premium price, and that global, unique innovation guarantees collector desirability and attention.
So let's zoom out and synthesize this identity. We have this unique combination of organic agriculture, hyper-local, in-house craftsmanship,
Right.
and a simultaneous willingness to engage in genuinely international, pioneering innovation.
Exactly. Sall's approach doesn't just distinguish them in Denmark, it places them at the cutting edge of modern spirits development globally. Well, they're proving that a commitment to the specific character of a single, highly controlled ingredient, that Jutland barley, can create a spirit strong enough to stand up to the most powerful and demanding cask finishes in the world.
So they aren't just trying to make Danish whiskey good. They are trying to prove that Danish terroir, when applied to barley, should be considered as globally relevant as any Scottish or Japanese region.
That is the ambition, and I think they're achieving it through concrete, innovative releases. Their unique releases, like the Fondillón cask, they demonstrate that high-value craft spirits can be built on a foundation of extreme localism.
But there's a catch.
The catch is that localism has to be paired with thoughtful, high-risk, high-reward international experimentation.
So for you, the curious learner, the deep dive takeaway here is a powerful case study in business and geography. This is a story about how hyper-local engagement, starting in a construction shed,
Can create a spirit with a deep, traceable character that tells a story of Danish pioneer spirit and rigorous control over the raw material.
We've tracked this journey from an archaeological dig through a successful community crowdfunding effort, all the way to pioneering the use of the rare Wine of Kings casks,
It is an impressive trajectory.
built on integrity and just bold experimentation.
It truly is. And this raises, I think, an important question for you to consider long after this deep dive is over.
Okay.
If hyperlocal terroir, the specific soil, climate, and grain of a small, focused area like Sall, can define the character of a single malt so completely, becoming the foundation for global innovation,
Then what's next?
then what other regional agricultural products, currently overlooked or considered minor crops in their regions, could provide the foundation for the next global trend in craft spirits? Where is the next Sall Whisky hiding, waiting to apply extreme focus to an ingredient we haven't yet valued?
Now that is the kind of provocative thought that makes you look at the landscape differently. Thank you for joining us as we explored the unexpectedly visionary world of Danish single malt.
A pleasure, as always.
We'll catch you on the next deep dive.